Charity and Lemuel Wright were my 4 times great-grandparents. Together, they had 10 children. The one that we're going to concentrate on today is a doctor in the house, Dr. Joseph Wright. He lived 1798 to 1898. That's 100 years. His wife, Rachel Hamilton, was born in 1812 and died in 1893. That's who we're going to concentrate on in this story. This is a picture of Joseph and 2 of his siblings. The person that put this on, Ancestry, said that they think that Louisa is the sister on the right. I have no idea who the sister on the left is. I think this is a very nice picture, and they look to be dressed very well, and I think they were very attractive. I'll tell Joseph Wright's story by his obituaries. The funeral of Dr. Joseph Wright, who died yesterday evening from the effects of an attack of la grippe, took place this afternoon from the residence of his daughter, Mrs. Fanny Gibson, on the Cameron Road. His remains were laid away in the city cemetery. Dr. Wright was born in North Carolina on December 10, 1798, and in 6 more days he would have been 100 years old. His parents moved to Middle Tennessee in 1800, where he entered upon the study of medicine and afterwards followed the practice of medicine. In 1852, he moved to Texas and settled in Travis County at the place on the Cameron Road, where the hand of death claimed him yesterday. Owing to failing health, he was compelled to abandon the practice of medicine and turned his attention to practical surveying, a science in which he had been previously interested. He surveyed the plat of ground on which now stands the Texas State University. Between 1852 and 1860, he occasionally answered calls made upon his knowledge of medicine, but the greater part of his attention was devoted to farming and surveying. During his many years of residence in Travis County, Texas, he came to know many people, and by all of them he was honored and loved as a man of true Christian spirit and character, ever ready to lend a helping hand or to tender as a free gift the fruits of his ripe experience. In 1883, his wife and companion of years passed away, but to the very end he was spared the 3 children who had been born to them: Mr. R.P. Wright, Mrs. George Walling, Sr., and Mrs. Fanny Gibson, the 2 last names being twin sisters. In addition, he is survived by about 15 grandchildren and 20 great-grandchildren. Here he's shown with his horse, and notice the way the beard is underneath the chin. I thought that was interesting. Here's another interesting obituary. Born in Nash County, North Carolina, on this day in 1798 was Joseph Wright, who among his other distinctions managed to live to within 6 days of his 100th birthday. Trained, if it could be called that in those days, to be a doctor, Wright practiced medicine for a short time in Tennessee and then turned to surveying, perhaps as a more lucrative profession. He assisted in the survey of Tallahassee, Florida. In 1852, Wright moved to Texas and established his home in Travis County. It was here that he did the job of surveying for which he is best remembered. He was chosen to survey the property lines of the plot of land set aside for the State University. Joseph and his family lived in what is now called the Ainsworth Wright House. The Ainsworth Wright House is a historic Austin, Texas house built in 1852 and listed on the National Register of Historic Places. The Texas Historical Commission plaque reads, Isaiah Hezekiah Ainsworth, a Baptist preacher and cabinet maker, constructed this Greek Revival residence about 1852, originally located at 4507 East Avenue. It was a 2-room house with an enclosed dog-run hallway. Additional rooms were later attached to the back porch. Dr. Joseph Wright purchased the property from Ainsworth in 1855. A physician and surveyor, Wright practiced medicine in a log building near his home. The house was moved to this location and restored by Franklin Savings Association. So his house now is a historic landmark. Just east of the town square sits a one-story white frame structure that was built starting in 1851, just 6 years after Texas gained statehood. And then it talks about Hezekiah Ainsworth and how he bought the land. He bought 246 acres of land for $500 near the current-day intersection of I-35 and Airport Boulevard and built this early Texas house. He completed his fine house in 1853. That makes it older than both the governor's mansion and the general land office, the oldest buildings of the state government. A father of 6, Ainsworth sold the property to Dr. Joseph Wright, just arrived from North Carolina, for $5,000 and moved to Burnett County, where he continued to preach and farm until his death. Wright, his wife Rachel, and 2 children cultivated a large garden and farmed several acres. Their pastures surrounded by I can't read that, but it's a Osage orange hedge, or what we know as a hedgerow. Just behind Dr. Wright's house sits a simple log structure where, as one of Austin's first trained physicians, he practiced medicine for several years after he bought the house in 1855. By the time most physicians were untrained, they were horse doctors who also treated people. Wright dispensed medicinal powders for $1. He moved his medical office to more modern quarters by the 1870s, but the little cabin remained in his yard until after his death in 1898, just 6 days short of his 100th birthday, as we know. While this 1850s cabin is approximately the same size as Wright's, it once served as a granary, then a house. This is a newspaper clipping with a picture of Dr. Joseph Wright's house being moved to the new location from where it was originally built. This article basically just went over his obituary, except they added on that after his death, his daughter Fanny Gibson and her daughter Lily inherited the home. It was Fanny's home until her death in 1908 and Lily's until the 1940s. And I have in one of the, I believe it's the 1880 census, where Joseph and Rachel are living with the Gibsons. So that's his daughter, Fanny Gibson, and all her children. And I saw there that I believe that Rachel was about 21 years younger than Joseph, but he was 82 at that time. So Dr. Joseph Wright, my 3 times great-granduncle, was not just another pretty face. So many stories, so little time.